Some Muslims are saying that the coronavirus is a punishment to China for the bad treatment of Muslims. USA Muslims on Facebook, which has almost 1 million likes, writes, China has imprisoned more than 1 million Muslims in detention, so Allah sheds a virus that has not been discovered yet. It has isolated 4 cities with a population of more than 20 million Chinese, and you are unaware of what they're going to do. Allahu Akbar. The Judgment 24/7 page on Facebook says, China forbids face cover for Muslim women, now orders face cover for all. Everything is from Allah and He keeps perfect score. The Islamic cleric from India, Ilyas Sharafuddin, said that Allah punished the Chinese for persecuting Uyghurs by unleashing coronavirus. Prince Harun on Twitter says, you don't think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent a virus to China as a punishment for what they're doing to Uighur Muslims? Question mark, question mark. This other fellow said, they plan and Allah plans, surely Allah is the best of planners, quoting from the Quran. I'm talking about China. They used forces to kill Muslims. Now Almighty is using coronavirus against them. You can't fight the religion of Allah. And then Tehreek-e-Labbaik, Pakistan's chief Khadim Hossein Rizvi, said that the coronavirus is actually Allah punishing the Chinese for atrocities on Uighur Muslims. Another fellow on Facebook said, Wuhan coronavirus outbreak is no coincidence. It's a manifestation of Allah's wrath to Chinese fascist government, who is incarcerating millions of innocent Uighur Muslims in concentration camps to be indoctrinated, abused, sterilized, and organ harvested by an army of microbes. An army of microbes? Maliha Khan says, China once said niqab is banned. Now all are wearing masks same as niqab because of a fear of coronavirus. Power of Allah heart. Oh, how lovely Allah, sending diseases to kill people. And this fellow, Riaz, said, on behalf of all Pakistanis, I pray that Allah will get rid of our brother China from a difficult time like the coronavirus. So he wants coronavirus to go away. And this other fellow, Qutub Patia, said, for those who are saying the coronavirus is Allah's punishment to the people of China for the treatment of Uighur Muslims, or this is karma, or China deserves this, stop. This is not what Islam teaches us, and is definitely not how Allah's justice works. Remember, there's always going to be people on both sides. Not all Muslims think coronavirus is a good thing. Many have urged people to stop saying it's a punishment from Allah. But let's look at why they think this way. What is the ideology behind this? The ideology claims that if you pray to Allah, He can intervene and send punishments, and He does send punishments from time to time. So it's not surprising that they think this way. Even though Allah is completely silent in every other way, this form of superstition still exists. It must be because of Allah that the virus came. They're creating a causal link in the mind that doesn't exist in reality. A healthy dose of skepticism can cure this. What is China doing that made people think this? China has been on a very dangerous path of punishing Uighur Muslims. They want to forcefully integrate this minority group that has a distinct culture and religion. History has shown us that this never goes well. In China, we had the residential school systems where they took the Aboriginal Canadians, separated them from their parents, forced them to speak English, and even forced some of them to convert to Christianity. Not just that, but many of them actually died in these schools due to suboptimal care. Canada has since apologized for this maltreatment. China is doing currently the same, nay, much worse than this. They are forcefully erasing this distinct culture. They're forcing them to eat in Ramadan, dance, putting them in re-education camps, and whatnot. It's not right by any means what they're doing, and we should definitely speak up against this. Nobody should have to go through what they're going through, but it seems that nobody can do anything. In this situation of hopelessness, and Muslims du'as going unanswered, the coronavirus hits. Is the coronavirus a punishment from Allah to what the Chinese government did? Let's get this out of the way first. Muslims are also hit hard by this. Muslims in Xinjiang are easy targets for the virus. If anyone's going to be affected, it's those Muslims in those camps. Second of all, we are all targets for the virus, not just the Chinese government. The virus is spreading all over the world. If this is a punishment from Allah, the countries where China is involved in, such as Pakistan, have very much to fear as well. And they do. Let's look at what happened. What's the root cause of this issue if not Allah? First of all, it appears the virus came from eating bat or snake. But who are we to judge what other people eat if we ourselves are eating meat? We also have our own strange foods that we eat, like egg, which are basically unborn chickens. Food shortage is a real issue in many parts of the world, and if this is what they eat, then this is what they eat. What does need to change, however, is the eating of uncooked and live animals. This is a cultural value that's bad. It's cruel to animals and it's dangerous to humanity. This has to change. And in general, we should really think about eating less meat or even not eating meat. There are far more risks in eating meat than in eating vegetarian or vegan food. Humanity should really think about what the costs are of eating meat. And it's not just eating bats and snakes. Even, for example, cows and chickens and pigs, they all have the risks. The second problem is how China dealt with the virus. They delayed informing the WHO about the virus. Third of all, they limited free speech in China. The doctor who raised the alarm bell, Dr. Li Wenliang, who was 34, and he raised the alarm bell back in late December, has died from the virus. He was actually punished for raising the alarm bell. I heard an interview with a resident of Wuhan who said that because he was able to speak English, he was able to read the news about the coronavirus on Western media outlets before other Chinese locals could.
Well, because it has been for weeks, but the opinions and the fact has been, I could say, a little bit distorted, because at the first few weeks, we were told that it couldn't be like person-to-person transmission. But it was only 3 days ago when a very prestigious professor who was the leader of SARS almost 2 decades ago, and he took the train to Wuhan, and he told the national television that it could be person-to-person transmission. People finally realized that it's very serious, and hundreds of people has already been infected.
Because you can read English, are you learning things about the crisis that other people aren't able to read or know because they don't speak English?
Of course, they don't speak English, and another important thing is that they couldn't really get access to other social networks, like Facebook. We use WeChat. So most of the information has already been deleted or filtered. So, yeah.
The government was strictly censoring all news about it, so locals were sitting ducks. They didn't even wear masks or prepare for it in any way. This makes China a danger to a modern world. Because of the negligence and the attempt to tightly control speech, and not because of Allah, we have a deadly virus spreading all over the world. Hopefully we'll get it under control, but it has already killed over 800, far more than SARS did several years ago. Thanks for watching. Please consider joining the channel and becoming part of the team to help me make more such videos. You can also support me on Patreon or PayPal. I really appreciate the help. See below for details. And don't forget to subscribe. This is Abdullah Samir, signing out.